The Lonely Squirrel, a tale of greed and generosity. Once in a lush forest, there lived a young squirrel named Sammy who was known for his greed. From a very young age, Sammy was smaller than the other squirrels, but he had a huge desire to gather more acorns than anyone else. From morning till night, day after day, Sammy roamed the forest collecting acorns, amassing a huge stash in his den. Sammy scurried around, gathering more acorns than he could possibly eat in a lifetime. His obsession with acorns grew so intense that he began taking them from his fellow forest creatures. However, Sammy's greed became a problem for the other animals in the forest. Acorns were an important food source for everyone, and as Sammy hoarded more and more, it became difficult for the other animals to survive the winter. The other animals, initially tolerant of Sammy's habits, soon grew weary of his greed. They started calling him Greedy Sammy. Eventually, the other animals started to avoid him, and Sammy felt very lonely. The other animals were upset about his hoarding behavior, which left fewer acorns for others, especially during the sparse winter months. On a cold winter day, feeling lonely and isolated, Sammy saw a young fox caught in a trap. Despite his initial hesitation, Sammy used some of his piled-up acorns to distract a passing hiker, who then noticed and freed the fox. The fox, grateful for Sammy's unexpected help, shared a valuable lesson about generosity. Everyone loved the story, but there's an interesting twist. The fox first told the other animals about the squirrel's act of helping. Initially, they didn't believe it. Sammy had lived such a greedy life that it seemed unlikely. On a cold, snowy day, Sammy also noticed a small bird shivering outside his den. Initially, he wanted to ignore it, but his heart softened, and he decided to share some of his acorns with the bird. Grateful, the bird spread the word of Sammy's kindness to the other animals. As the birds enjoyed the acorns and continued to share bits and pieces with other animals, they began to see the truth in the birds' and fox's tales. Grateful for the sharing, the other animals gradually started to approach Sammy again, realizing the truth and appreciating his newfound generosity. This slow but sure change in perception allowed them to reconnect with Sammy, who continued to share more and embraced a life of community and kindness. Sammy was no longer lonely, and he realized that sharing and friendship brought much more happiness than greed could ever bring. From that day on, Sammy lived harmoniously with all the animals, enjoying happy days filled with friendship and community. From Sammy's story, we can learn several valuable lessons. 1. The importance of sharing and generosity. Sammy's journey teaches us that sharing what we have with others can lead to greater happiness and fulfillment than hoarding resources for ourselves. 2. Transformation is possible. Sammy's transformation from greed to generosity shows that change is possible, no matter our past behaviors. It highlights the idea that anyone can choose to make positive changes in their lives. 3. The power of community. The story emphasizes how important a supportive community is for personal growth. As Sammy began to share and interact more with other animals, he reconnected with his community, which in turn enriched his life. 4. The consequences of greed. Initially, Sammy's greed led to loneliness and isolation. This part of the story serves as a cautionary tale about the negative effects that selfish behavior can have on our relationships and social well-being. 5. Forgiveness and second chances. The forest animals giving Sammy a second chance and coming to see him in a new light teach us about forgiveness and the importance of giving others the opportunity to change and prove themselves. Sammy's story is a classic tale of personal growth and redemption that resonates with the values of sharing, community, and possibility of change in everyone.